Hello everyone, my name is Tom Hayes and I welcome you to my channel, Truth is Social Suicide. Today is Thursday, November 30th, and I have a special Throwback Thursday for you from 2009. Our featured video is Looking Back at Earth, and it can be found on the European Space Agency ESA channel. You can watch the whole thing, a link is in the description below, but I'm going to try to keep this video short and to the point, so let's start it off around 9.5 minutes in. First thing you might notice is how flat the horizon looks. This is not a glitch, it is actually quite normal if a fisheye lens is not being used. Second, you might notice the constant jet turbine noise that anyone who has flown on an airplane is familiar with. This is pretty odd considering the ISS is supposed to only have small thrusters, and they only claim to use them very occasionally to raise or lower the altitude. After the ISS was put in orbit in 2000, the first these engines were used was on April 25th, 2007. If you can believe that. Moving on, I'm not real sure what to make of this, but I found it very interesting. Watch the moon drastically change shape as it comes into view. The bottom left has two zoomed clips that are 16 seconds apart to show comparison between shapes and how quickly this happens. I don't know if this footage is taken from a spy plane at 70,000 feet or 250 miles above the Earth's surface as the ISS is claimed to be, but it is interesting nonetheless. I'm not claiming this as proof, but I think this effect is being caused by the layers of different gases and densities. We can easily calculate the bending of light at extreme angles, like seen when shooting a laser through air and water. Look up Snell's law. It is not so easy to calculate when the layers are not so cleanly divided. I think this plays a huge role in the inaccuracy of triangulating the sun's distance and why we see the sun rise and set instead of being visible at all times. And I saved the best for last. I really wonder how this video even made it out. Do they know that most people lack the critical thinking skills to realize that what we are shown and what we are told don't agree with each other? Do they put this out on purpose, a little truth in plain sight, mocking the sleeping masses? Or maybe an ESA employee was pissed and purposefully messed this up, hoping to expose the ESA as another lying space agency. I really don't know, but it is a great example of so-called science actually being a mix of science fiction and comedy. Behold, here we see a star layer placed in front of the Earth layer. When working with multi-layer images and video, it is important to make sure the background is the bottom layer. This is quite a mistake. Because this is a little difficult to see on some screens, I made some minor adjustments to the contrast and brightness on the left half to make it easier to spot. I've only seen one excuse, that is that this is actually dust on the window. But the last few seconds of the video, you can see the camera move, and this star layer does not move, proving it is not dust on the window. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Tom Hayes reminding you, in an empire built on lies, truth is social suicide.